this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. I am excited to get started with this project because I am absolutely in love with this paper. These are the Jen Memoirs by Blue Fern Studios, designed by my dear friend Jen Bishop. I just love her style and I can't wait to play with all these goodies. Now, I got this kit from Crafty City. I will put the link on the description box down below. I know I did the paper share and the kits were completely sold out, but I did talk to Archana and she's actually restocking, so you want to go back and check and hopefully you won't miss out for a second time. But the kit comes with all these absolute beautiful flowers. Everything that you see in here comes on the kit, including this little window, Venetian shutter, I'm sorry, this little pretty lace, the paper collection, of course, that is amazing. It comes with this Blue Fern Studios chipboard little print that is matching to the collection. Everything comes with it, and you also get a blank Prima album. I think one of those. I didn't get the album option because I of course make my own albums and I wanted to do a journal with it. I'm going to be doing this journal a little bit different to the other journals that I've done before. I know I have a tutorial here which is a journal for beginners, so this one's going to be just a little bit different but just as easy. So I am going to be using some cardstock from boxes. As you know, we all have been getting a lot of shipment into our homes, and of course I clean my boxes before I bring them into the house. But these are the inside part of the box, you know, the ones that fold in and they're not in contact with anything. But also I did went ahead and wipe this down with the Clorox wipe, and yeah, so, and I'm gonna be peeling this, so no worries. It's gonna be good. Also, I'm gonna be using a box. You can use some cereal, cracker boxes. I'm using this Cheez-Its box because I like the width of the spine, so that's the first thing that I look for when I want to use some of my boxes. I save them all. I save all the cereal boxes. Some are wider, some are smaller, some are more flimsy, which is still okay. This still will work because you only want this as a little base. So I'm gonna be using these. I'm also gonna be using some tie-dye paper. Look how gorgeous this paper is. If you watch my vlog, you'll see how I did this paper super easy. All I did is make a pot of tea, put it in a Pyrex, dip it, put it in the oven. So watch my vlog. I kind of did a mini showing how I do my paper, and I actually did this in 2 batches. So yeah, so I put all of these in the oven at once, and then, you know, and it just saves me so much time. So yeah, I'm gonna have the link to my blog in the box as well if you're interested. So now let's go ahead and start playing with this. So I'm going to deconstruct my box a little bit. So I'm just gonna open it, and of course this box has also been completely wiped down before it even went into my house. I know it's funny how we all have to do that now, but it is definitely a necessary step. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a small piece of this. Now my journal size is probably gonna be around 9 by 6, but I want my box, which is gonna be where my signatures are gonna be stitched, to just be about 4 inches. So I'm gonna cut these at 4 inches. So I'm just gonna trim some on the top, trim some on the bottom. So let me bring my paper cutter here. Hopefully I just put everything on top of it, so let me move it. And usually I don't move my paper cutter anymore because now I have this big cutter, which is a lot easier to use. Well, it's not really a lot easier because I have to keep it in one place, but it's just more practical because it will cut everything at once instead of having to turn you know, the chipboard up to both sides like I normally would do, and same thing with these boxes. So I'm just gonna pick a random spot right now and cut this down. I did get this cutter at Amazon. If you guys check it out, all I did is put oops, sorry, I'm trying not to shake my table, but there you go. Sorry about that. If you Google what did I Google? Guillotine or something like that. That's how I found it, if you want to check that out. So I'm gonna cut, I'm actually just going to do, I'm going to do 5 inches, not 4, because I think that's gonna be a better area for doing my my hinges. And so I'm just gonna cut this out. Actually, we can just take these out like that. Now I want these to be at least 5 inches, 5.5. I don't know what this measures, but this is not gonna be the width of your album. Okay, so I'm gonna do it at just a little bit before 6. Okay, and then I'm gonna go from the spine to the other side also at just 1/8 before the 6 inches. And there you go, quick and easy. So now I'm gonna flip this to the other side because I want this to be on the outside of my journal. So I'm just gonna do it like this, and there you go. And I'm gonna put this on the side, and now I'm going to cut my box pieces. Now these are going to be my covers, so I want to cut these at 9 by 6. So first, I don't know if this will fit in here, but anyway, so what we're gonna do is peel off these pieces, and I think I've done this before in a different tutorial. So all I do is just take out the top layer of the box, just like that. Okay, so it might take a little bit of time to do, and you don't need it to be completely clean. Just make sure that the arounds, like the border, is going to be peeled off, so you see that beautiful texture on the outside of your journal. So I'm going to go around like this, and it really helps when you use like a little tool, something like this maybe. Okay, see how easy that makes it? So you're gonna go like that and like this, and this is the Cricut tool, but as you know, I use it for everything. And I'm just gonna peel this out, and I'm doing this on camera just so you know how easy it is. I know it's quite loud, so I'm just gonna peel this off, and then I'm going to go on this other side. Okay, so now we're going to trim this at 6, and oops, sorry, it's super loud, this tutorial, I think. And we're gonna do this by 9 inches. So 6 by 9 is going to be this piece. So I'm gonna bring this out. It's quite large. There you go. Okay, so you want this piece of 9 by 6, and again, I'm gonna finish up cleaning the edges, and it will probably show all around, but I just want to make sure that I have a nice clean edge. There you go. And now I'm gonna do the same with this other piece. So now I have the 2 pieces ready, and we're going to go ahead and glue those on our little box base. So I'm gonna put one here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this one, actually I need more glue up here, and just put this piece right on top, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the back. Of course, I'm gonna use my ruler just to make sure that these 2 are going to be placed on the right place. And there you go. Okay, so we're gonna put that one right there, just like that. Okay, so that's gonna be the first layer of the cover, and of course this is gonna be kind of like a chunky little journal, so it's gonna be great. I'm going to be using some of this fabric. You can use any fabric that you have. I got this fabric at Walmart. not too long ago, actually before the quarantine, but I know Walmart's still open, so if you happen to go pick up groceries, you might want to stop by the by the crafty section for a minute and do that. I also have all kinds of little pieces, as you can see here. I love this one because it matches the collection really pretty, and I know it's all ripped because I was actually making face masks with this fabric. It's so pretty. I use this one to make one for my mom, but I think this would be really cute, like tabs. So you can use every little bit of leftover fabric that you have. So I'm gonna put that one there. Now I'm going to cut a piece that's probably just a little bit bigger than my spine here. So I think it has to be, and I'm gonna open, this is quite a lot of fabric. So let me just, and I don't know the name of this fabric actually. Do I? No. And it's one of those that you cut by the yard, and it was only 99 cents for this big piece of fabric. So I'm going to cut this up, and now the fabric is definitely not necessary. I just like to mix all kinds of different elements to make it a little bit more I don't know, more interesting, just have a lot of different textures. As you can see on this side, the fabric has this little fray edge, and I'm trying to imitate that on the other side. So I'm just gonna start pulling some of these strings out to get that same effect. And if you don't have fabric near you or next to you, you can still do this, of course, but you can just cover this with a piece of cardstock, maybe some craft color cardstock, and because all we're doing really is reinforcing and of course making it look beautiful and interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish with that. I think that should be good. And I need these to go all the way around like that, just to make sure that it's going to hold this pretty good. Now you probably don't need this to be that long. I can probably trim this down. Okay, so now I'm going to add glue on my spine, just like this. And I'm using fabric glue. You can use any type of fabric glue that you can find. This one is called Fabric Tack, and I'm going to just place that right there on the center, just like that. And then I'm going to glue on these sides as well. So I'm just gonna try to put a lot of glue. Okay. And there you go, and the same on this other side. Okay, something like that, and put that like that. So now we have our spine ready, or kind of ready. Okay, so I have this for now. I'm going to build layers here for the spine, and at the same time I'm going to add my signature pages and add the stitching, and then I'm going to cover the area where the stitching is going to be. So I'm going to put this on the side for now, since I want to make sure that my signatures are added kind of before I add the next layers here. So we're going to put that on the side. And now we get to play with the beautiful paper. Oh my goodness. This paper is going to be so hard to cut. Pretty. So I'm thinking this is going to have probably 4 signatures, because I want my signatures to be small. So I'm going to be using these beautiful pages for my journal. Like I said, I write a lot on my journal, so I really like having a little space for writing and decorating as I fill my journal. So I'm going to pick different colors of papers, even though these were all ink at the same time on the tea and bake at the same time in the oven, just because the positioning that they take in the oven or in the tea, it makes them have these different colors, as you can see. So I'm gonna kind of play around with different shades of this paper. Look at that. Just here we have a little rainbow of tea dye paper, which I love. So I'm going to fold these ones in half, one by one, like this. I'm gonna do 1, 2, probably around 5 per signature. Quick and easy like that. I like to fold them one by one, and then I will put them all together at once. Okay, so then you want to stack your papers one on top of each other like this. Okay, so one thing that I love doing on my tea paper is to add stitching on the sides. Again, this is an optional step, but if you want to add stitching, you want to do this now before you bind it. That way, you know, it's a lot easier to maneuver on the machine and you're not gonna damage your journal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna grab probably 3 of these and just add a little bit of stitching on the sides. So there you go, I added my stitching here. I only did this on 3 of the pages, and I just put them in between the other ones. So now we're gonna cut this paper. I absolutely love this image, which I'm hesitating to see if I'm gonna put it on the front cover or maybe on the inside cover here. But if I fold this in half for the journal page, this girl is actually going to end up at the bottom, which means on one of the last pages. So I'm gonna put this aside because she needs to be on the front and center. Okay, so now I'm going to select one here. So I think I'm going to have this one because she's just so pretty. So I'm gonna cut these at 9 inches by 11 inches. So actually, no, we're gonna do 9 by 11 and a quarter. So I'm gonna cut these here on the side. So here's the piece. I actually cut these at 8 3/4 instead of 9 because my pages measure 8.5 here. So it's just a little bit bigger, almost nothing. So 9 will be a little bit too big. So I'm just going to fold this in half now, just like that. And it can just be a soft fold. You don't have to completely go with your score tool or with your bone folder. And then we're going to insert this page right there. Now when we cut this, we have this little piece left over, so I'm actually going to be using these as well. So now I have 2 pieces of 6 inches by whatever this is. I think it's 3 inches, and I'm going to fold this on half as well, just like that. And we can put these pieces in throughout the pages. So I can add one here, and we have this, and even though it's a small piece, you can glue things to this, and it's just a nice little feature to have in between your pages. Okay, so another thing that we can do with these little pieces that we have leftovers is we can make them as little pockets. So I think I'm going to make these as a little side pockets here. So what I like to do is just glue down and sides. Okay, so this is not working. Okay, so I'm just gonna add some glue right there, and sometimes you want to do these steps before you go ahead and stitch your signatures together. So this leftover piece I'm going to cut out. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this out just like that. And I'd like to stitch my pockets because I like the look of that, so that's what I'm going to do. And also I don't like this little corner, so I'm going to just simply trim that like that a little bit. Usually I do it bigger, but I don't want to cut into these beautiful girls, so I'm going to add my stitching and I'll be right back. So there you go, I added my little stitching on this side of my pocket, and I really like how that looks. Even on the back it looks really, really pretty, but of course you can do just fine with glue. It actually took me a long time to lose the fear of using my sewing machine on paper, and now it's all I use it for. Well, actually that and making masks, but anyway, so we are ready with the first signature, and like I said, we're gonna be doing 4, so I'm gonna be doing the same on 3 other signature pieces here. So I think I'm gonna use this one, that one. I mean, they're all so beautiful, and I'll pick one more, maybe this one. Yes. So I'm gonna get these 3 other ones ready, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my 4 signatures prepared and ready to be stitched in. And so I just want to show you how beautiful these look. They're so pretty. So these are going to be inside, of course, but look how gorgeous that looks. I love it. So before I move into that step, I went ahead and cut a little piece of cardstock, and I'm just gonna close glue it here. I'm sorry. So this little piece measures the same as your spine here, which is 5 inches. So I cut this at 5 by 6, and we are now just going to glue this. So I'm gonna add a lot of glue here and here, and we're just gonna press this down just to cover the box. Okay, and then you want to wait for your glue to dry, and we are going to bend this. Okay, so we're going to help this bend on the same place that the box would bend, which is right there, just like that. And then we're going to secure this with paper here, of course. So there you go. So you just want to make sure this is flexible and you can open up. So make sure that is glued down. Okay, because at the end of the day, you want this to open flat. Okay, so there you go. Maybe a little more glue here. Okay, and a little bit more glue right there. Now we're gonna add our signatures in. So for that, I want to make sure that I am measuring right here. So I'm gonna go from the center up 1.5 inches, and from the center down 1.5 inches as well. So I'm just gonna mark that with a pencil. Okay, so half will be at 2.5, and then up I'm gonna mark at 1 inch, and on the bottom I'm going to mark at 4 inches. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do cross lines just like that, and we can of course erase that later. And there you go. And then for the sides, you know that this measures 2 inches. So I'm going to mark, I'm just creating a little grid here. So actually mine measures about 2.25. So I'm just gonna center the 2.25 here, and then I'm going to mark at half, 1, 1.5, and 2, and I'm gonna do the same on the top. Half, 1, 1.5, and 2. So I'm gonna make this like that so I don't get confused with the other ones. Okay, and then on the bottom line we are going to do the same, half, 1, 1.5, and 2. And usually I don't mark the lines and I just stitch my signatures, but I want to make sure that they are even, since you can kind of see this part outside of the journal. So now that I have the locations, I'm going to poke a hole in each one of those marks. I'm just gonna make a hole just like that. So now that we have the little holes punched down, I'm going to erase all of my pencil lines. Okay, there you go. So it's nice and clean and ready for your signature. So we're gonna do the same for each signature here. I'm going to find the center. I know this measure 8.5, but I'm just gonna center it here with the 9, and I kind of have this in between because it's a lot easier to find the half right there. So I'm going to mark at 4.5, and then I'm going to go 1.5 up, which is going to be 3 inches, and 1.5 down, which is going to be 6 inches. Okay, so you have those 3 little marks right there, and I'm going to punch the hole throughout all of the layers of paper. Okay, so make sure it comes out on the other side, like you can see it right there. And we're gonna do the same for all of them. So now we're ready to stitch our signatures. I have a needle and some twine. This is a really thin baker's twine. I mean, it's not as thin as thread, but some twine, it's really chunky, so make sure that you get one that is even and thin like this. And then I'm using, this is like an embroidery little needle, and just make sure that it's pointy. Some of them have like the point that is round, so you want something that is nice and pointy. So I'm going to start at the center. I'm gonna go in. See how easy it is once you already make the holes ahead. And I'm going to go on the center on this one as well, on the very first one. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way in like that. And I hope I'm in frame. So I'm just gonna pull this out. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult because of this cardstock. So that one, and there you go. So just make sure that you have one piece long enough so you don't lose your thread and you have to start over. And I'm just gonna pull, 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 pull. And again, I can see this over here, so I'm okay with that. And then I'm gonna go to the top, and you should be able to feel where that is. And if you can't find it, because I'll see how easy it is, if you can't find it, just go ahead and poke it again so you can see it coming through the other side. Okay, so I'm still holding on this side so I don't lose that, and I'm gonna pull this all the way through. Okay, and then I'm going to pull through the center, the top, I mean, here, and there you go. So we're gonna do center and then top, and we're gonna pull this. Okay, and now I'm gonna go down and do the same thing, go through the made hole, and this is gonna come out on this side, this. Okay, and I'm gonna lay this flat so I can pull this through, and then I'm gonna go in through the center again. Okay, make sure you have this still safe and it's not gonna go anywhere. And now you're just gonna go back through the center. See how it's coming out this way, and then again I'm gonna make sure it goes down through this side. And now when you come out, I'm gonna do a little close up there. When you come out, make sure that this line here, it's on the center. Okay, so you want your thread to be on either side of this line. So now I'm gonna pull this out, and now I have these 2 pieces, and I'm going to cut this one. Let's see here, right there. and make sure you have nothing left over. So this is how it looks on this side. And now we're just going to tie this. So I'm gonna make a double knot, just like that. And there you go. So now we have the first signature added. Now we're gonna repeat that step to all of the other 3 signatures there as well. Okay, so I am done adding all of my signatures into the spine. As you can see, this is how it looks from the outside. I love that you can see the signatures. Doesn't that look different? And it's just gonna be such a chunky little journal. So I want to cover up my stitches that I did, even though they look pretty nice. I do want more layers, like I said. So I found this little piece of fabric on my stash. I mean, I can't really use these. I will still use these little pieces here, maybe for pull-up tabs, but I needed something a little bit bigger, which is gonna be this piece, and I'm just gonna wrap it around like this. Now, as you can see here, the fabric has this little fray edge. I think that's what you call that. So I'm going to imitate that on this other side that I cut out. And basically what you do is just start pulling out the strings like this. You're gonna see them come out, and then just pull and pull and pull and pull until you get that pretty little edge, as you can see here. So I'm just gonna continue doing that, and I think this is the easiest way to do it, just to kind of tuck it in, tuck and pull, just like that. A few little sections, and then we just go back and take them out. Okay, so I have the piece, and it looks like this. And now I'm going to glue these right here on my spine. I just love the layering effect. And I don't know if you can see, but this is a really soft pink. Like, this is white and this is pink. And you know, I love pink, so I I have to add it here. So hopefully my glue is going to work. I love this glue, but it's just so sticky. It gets really sticky as you get low on your bottle here, but there you go. So I'm just gonna add some, and now we're gonna put this just like that. Okay, I'm gonna center this. Here you go. And I am now going to do the sides as well. Okay, so I'm now going to add this pretty lace. This came with your kit. So I'm just gonna trim this maybe around here. And I just want to add this before I add my next layer. So this is going to be kind of showing from underneath. So let's go ahead and add some glue. Okay, and now I'm gonna place that right there like that. Okay, so I also went ahead and cut another piece of the card box here, and I think I'm gonna add a second layer just to add more dimension. And let me just go ahead and take some of these out. So I'm going to add that one there. Now before I add that, I want to add like a little string for a closure. So I have this yarn. I think it's yarn, but it's very weird looking. Look at that. So I think I'm going to do that. So maybe I'll do like 4 layers, just like that. So I'm gonna cut this off right here, and I'm going to cut this up here as well, just like that. And then I'm going to add this in here, and let's see, I should have made it go all the way around. I guess I just don't want to make my spine bulky, but since this is cardboard, it is actually perfect because this lace or yarn can go right in between these edges here. So it's quite perfect. So like I said, I'm using 4 just to give it a lot of dimension and texture and all that stuff. So there you go. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to glue my second layer, but maybe behind the layer I can use some of these extra little pieces of this other fabric that I have. So I only need a little piece, so I'm gonna cut this in half and just do some here on the top, just like that, before I add my next box layer. So that kind of gives it another dimension there, and then we can put that here. I went ahead and cut the design paper a little piece like this, and I think that's gonna make a beautiful layer as well. So let me just clean this edge a little bit better. There you go, and then maybe this here too, just in case. There you go. And now I'm going to glue this whole piece down. I'm going to use my fabric glue because this is going to go on top of different fabric layers. So I'm just gonna do that right there. Okay, so there you go. And now this piece, actually I also want to use some pretty lace. So I have this very pretty one from my stash. I also have this other really soft pink. So I don't know right now which one I like better, but I'm gonna add this one. I am going to distress the edge here on this one. Okay, so we're gonna glue this down here, and that just looks so pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, I love the soft pink here on the design paper. And so now let's think about this lace. Either that, maybe this one. I think this one because it's more soft and you can actually see the layers behind. So let's do that. And it's just really fun to play around with different layering and just kind of seeing what you like. I also have some buttons, so I think I'm gonna put these buttons there as well. It was meant to be, you know, because I opened my drawer and there they were, and I was like, oh, this must be a sign. So I'm gonna put 2 little buttons here on this side. There you go. So I think that looks really pretty. And I wish I have like different size buttons. That'll probably look better. Now I have this beautiful girl that I want to put in my cover. And I also have these windows. So maybe the girl can be, I was thinking, inside this window. Look how pretty that looks. That looks so pretty. Let's see here. So like that, which means I have to kind of cut her a little bit. Oh, okay, so let's do this just like that. There you go. Maybe a little bit more, just a little bit more. And this is from the ephemera pieces that also come in the kit. And there you go. I think that's a beautiful little background in there, and you can close it. I want to find a way to keep these open, but I think if you can close it, that's okay too. So we're gonna do that, and let's see. Okay, let's do it. let's do it without thinking too much. And place her down. And then we're gonna place this down. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna open because I wanna make sure it is center. And perfect. Right there. I love that. Oh my goodness. I love it. And now I'm going to play around with some flowers. So let's see here. Let's play around with some of these beautiful flowers from the kit. I have those and also this one. So let's see. Maybe I think this really soft pink. They're really calling me here. So pretty. I love this one. So I'm going to just glue these. I'm going to make sure to not cover all of my beautiful layers here, like my buttons and my lace. So I just want to make sure you can still see that. Let me get this little one off. Okay, and maybe we'll do that one right there, and this one over there. And I found this little piece of pearls and it fits perfect. Let me move this down. It fits perfect on the size of the window shutter here. So I think I'm gonna add it on the bottom because I think that's just a sign. Oh, let me glue these ones. One there and put one here. And did I glue this one? Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to do just a little bit of glue here for these pearls. So I think it's a sign. Every time I find a tiny little piece that fits perfect on a space, that just has to be, right? It's meant to be. So I think this is how I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to save my beautiful, beautiful flowers. So many flowers on this kit. It's just beautiful. I could probably do a little canvas with my extra papers that I have and all these beautiful flowers. I think that'll be really, really pretty. I also found these ones, and I'm not sure if I want to put them on the top or not. Maybe it's too many. I'll save this for the inside of the book. Same thing with the memoirs here. I think I'm gonna add that one. So, oh my goodness, I think this is actually perfect. Perfect. Yes, I love it. I'm just gonna add it because I think it's beautiful. We're just gonna put that right there. And there you go. That is my cover. I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it. So I'm gonna wait for this to dry, but I'm going to add my ribbons here on the back, and also I'm gonna cover the back, and yeah, we're almost done. So then for the inside, I'm gonna use this beautiful paper. This is definitely my favorite. So I'm going to glue this down in there, and I cut this a little bit smaller than 9 by 6. Okay, and I also went ahead and added the one for the back cover, and now I'm just gonna add this piece of lace that I have left over, and I'm gonna place it higher up so it can show from the outside too. So let's just go ahead and add some glue, and we're gonna put that right there. I'm gonna let that dry, but look how pretty it looks from the outside. You can see a little bit of that lace. I'm gonna finish up decorating some of the inside of my pages using the ephemera. These are perfect to add little pieces and details. Also, we have these other sheets from the kit that I'm gonna cut apart and create little notepads. And so yeah, so of course I have my leftover little fabric pieces here, and I'm gonna be adding these ones on the side of the jar. But for the most part, I like having a lot of places to write and decorate as I go. But I love how this journal turned out. I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial and give it a try with these beautiful paper collections. I absolutely love it so much. So I'm gonna come back and do a final walkthrough once I add all my lace on the sides as well, and all my tags and things like that. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.